Good morning. What a great room full of people. I want to thank each and every one of you for taking time out of your busy schedule to attend this first ever International Town Hall meeting. This is your chance to be in on the ground floor of history-making decisions for our order. I think it's important for you to know that the committee has done its homework and its research. Other organizations have made the same leap, some by force from the federal government, when Sandra Beynon sought to become a member of the Elks in 1987, but was turned down because she was a woman. She sued, invoking the Utah Civil Rights Act. Others have made the leap by choice. And in one instance, the choice took a long time. A very long time. 11 votes. Not 11 years in a row, but voting 11 times every other year. I had the pleasure of overseeing a subcommittee back in 2003, comprised of several staff members at Moose International, regarding a family membership and gender-neutral membership. Committee dialogue and discussions were intense and, on occasion, yes, very heated. Clearly, the term family membership and gender-neutral membership were relatively simple. But at the time, the implications and dynamics of implementing such a concept proved daunting to the committee. And while the committee was firmly committed to the belief that to change the way we do business was essential to the future and survival and growth of this fraternity, it failed. Nothing more was discussed until a very stimulating question was asked during a Q&A luncheon with the Director General and Grand Chancellor in 2016. Are women allowed to become part of the association? Well, of course, the answer was yes, according to the general laws. But how? A team at Moose International put their heads together and came up with a plan to move this question forward with some form of structure so that it complied with the current general laws and made sense for all involved. In March of 2018, the Washington Northern Idaho Moose Association held its first meeting as a joint association consisting of lodges and chapters. Could our fraternity be headed for such a change? During the 2018 annual conference, the Oregon Moose Association voted unanimously to invite the chapters within the Oregon Moose Association to join them as well. Special chapter meetings were held, and the co-workers voted overwhelmingly to join their association in building their future. But then came the 2019 mid-year conferences, and 31 additional Moose associations across North America chose to invite the Women of the Moose chapters to become their partner in the operation of the association. This is history in the making. And the message to embrace change was clear. Then, during the 2019 annual conventions, 4 additional associations invited their coworkers to become part of their association. And it now appears that eventually, nearly every one of our 43 associations will be comprised of men and women working together for the same mission. That of caring for others in need. This past September, 2 female district presidents were elected for their second term of office within the Washington Northern Idaho Moose Association, which is comprised of 7 districts. These 2 women are among others who have made history in the Women of the Moose and are now involved in the decision-making process of not only the districts but their associations as well. Our Women of the Moose members now have new opportunities to serve as district chairman and officers, in addition to association chairman and officers. This has been uncharted territory for our coworkers since the Women of the Moose was founded back in 1913. Women will now have a say and a vote in when and where association conventions and conferences and events take place. Women will now hold elected offices and have a say and a vote in all association decisions, including how money is raised and how money is spent. Women will now have a vote at district meetings instead of having to sit next to their husband or their significant other and vote on things that are important to everyone, no matter their gender. Men and women will now meet together more often during conventions and conferences to learn more about how we operate our lodges and chapters. And everyone will now be included in state provincial membership campaigns. Oh man, this is exciting. I am just thrilled. And while these new leadership opportunities do not currently affect our service at the local, lodge, and chapter level, it does offer a new talent pool of leaders to our districts and associations. Our membership has thrived for over 100 years, yet today's members want so much more. They want an opportunity to serve as an elected leader of the lodge and have a voice in the day-to-day operations. The Joint Association Initiative has set a tone and has served as a gauge for this committee to determine if our membership is ready for one Moose membership. And based on the results I just gave you, I believe it is. Men and women are already working side by side in their Moose homes for the mission of the Moose. They volunteer together during community service events and celebrate life together. Why shouldn't they be able to serve together on the elected board of the Moose home? As lodges struggle to find qualified leaders to step forward at election time, women should now be able to fill those voids. And while women still represent just 6.6% of all Fortune 500 CEOs, 3 Fortune 500 companies named women CEOs in recent months: Best Buy, Northrop Grumman, and Land O'Lakes. And while the 19th Amendment ending women's suffrage and giving women the right to vote passed in 1920, the Moose established and recognized women as the Women of the Moose Heart Legion as early as 1916. Women's liberation and the feminist movement was socially prevalent in the 1960s. How is it that we still have members and Moose homes that treat women as second-class citizens? We, as an organization, have a responsibility to make the right decision to remain a viable fraternity of service to others in need. We don't have the luxury of becoming one of those organizations where people say, "Oh, I remember them. Didn't they help kids and seniors at one time? I wonder what happened to them." If we turn away from the mission of Moose, we will become obsolete and end up as a book about the good old days on a shelf in a library. Singer Dolly Parton once said, "If you don't like the road you're walking, start paving another one." It's not that we don't like the road we're on, because we know we can do much better. As the membership of our order declines, donations to Moose charities are up. Volunteer efforts and community service donations are up. And we are leading the way in fraternal organizations. For the first time during my tenure as Grand Chancellor, and that's just over 11 years, 622 chapters this past year qualified for the Award of Achievement for the 2019 chapter year. And when I was asked, what do you attribute the success to? I believe our women now feel more empowered, that they now know that they will have a voice in this organization and an equal vote someday. Yes, brothers and coworkers, we have thrived for over a century as separate organizations, but eventually everything has to adapt to its environment. This organization of Moose can be so much more, and we're counting on you to help us make the right decisions toward that goal. Thank you, and I present Director General Scott Hart.